Fills my heart with utmost gratitude and pleasure that I got to introduce such a great personality, Ms. Dhaneshri Changan. Ma'am has completed her master's in engineering from KK Wag Institute of Engineering Education and Research, Nashik, and now currently pursuing her PhD from SVNIT Surat. She has been teaching since 2014 and thus was a member and coordinated various events such as IST, IEEE, NSS, etc. She has also attended various one-week short-term courses on topics dealing with power electronics, microgrid stability, protection and control, power quality, distributed power generation, solar rooftop PV generation, outcome-based education, effective teaching learning practices, effective thesis writing and research methodology, electrical power systems, and many more. She has also delivered 3 days workshop on MATLAB and its application, and also a guest lecture on power electronics for TE students. She has also made some publications with Ganesh Zadav sir on modeling of inverter for stability analysis of microgrid. Also, another paper with Patil Tejas, Trupti Dhavle on reduction of three-phase transformer magnetizing inrush current by using point on wave switching method. Some other works also include small signal stability analysis of microgrid considering comprehensive load modeling. Adding one more feather in her hat, she has also completed foundation program in ICT for education, pedagogy for online and blended teaching learning process, and photovoltaic. She has also done some major projects in MTech and BTech. She is also an IIT member. She had been recipient of many awards and achievements like ME Power Systems, NSS, and in many more. With these words, I would like to call Ms. Dhaneshri ma'am to enlighten us with few words. Dhaneshri ma'am.
Good afternoon, all. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for such a great introduction of me. May I share my PPTs?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thanks to my all teachers to giving me such a great opportunity to connect you all peoples. Good afternoon. Let's know something about the microgrid, the concept of microgrid and dynamics and effect of different kinds of loads on the microgrid dynamics. Already, my introduction is given by, sorry, I forgot your name, Mayuresh, I think. So these are microgrid, what is actually microgrid, what is the need of microgrid dynamics, then modeling of microgrid. It is a mathematical modeling of microgrid, and I have modeled that microgrid in a state space techniques. Effect of load on a microgrid dynamics. Here I'm using the different types of loads and also the load changes, how load changes affects on the microgrid dynamics. Then there is a one more important concept, that is a droop, and that droop is related to active and reactive power sharing. And here I will discuss some of the things like how load changes affect on microgrid dynamics and how advanced droop helps for power sharing. Then one another more important concept is that electric vehicles which are connected to microgrids, why electric vehicles are needed to connect to microgrid, and how EVs affect on a microgrid. Then I will discuss some of the research scope which is in this topic, in a microgrid topic, and I will show some references I have used for my study. Okay. So there are some conventional trends we use for power generation, like thermal power generation, nuclear, hydro, diesel. We already know all of these uh, power generation techniques. Okay. We already know, according to Ministry of Coal, about 75% of electrical energy generated by using the thermal energy. And we already know that oil can last for almost 50 years, natural gas up to 53 years, and The fossil fuels can last for 114 years, and there are some issues related to this conventional power generation, like it is not sustainable. It produces the carbon dioxide, which is the most important problem of this world. That is, it produces the carbon dioxide which affects or which causes the greenhouse effect. Requires sustainable amount of cooling water, and most important is that if oil spills while transporting, then it can cause the water pollution. So what is the solution against this? We have a solution, that is distributed generation. Generally, power is generated there is a centralized system. Okay, it means the power generating stations are located where the sources or fossil fuels are available. But here, our power or generating power is power is generated at a locally or at a distribution voltage level by using the renewable energy sources, or that power is used by that loads, or that power can be shared with the main grid. So renewable sources, I think you all may know that these are some biogas, wind power, and solar PV cells. These are most favorite renewable sources. So distributed energy resources. While you are studying the microgrid concept, the most important concept is distributed energy resources. These energy resources used for the distributed power generation are known as the distributed energy resources. This definition is according to the IEEE standard 1547. So distributed resources are sources of electric power that are not directly connected to the bulk power transmission system. Okay, we already know that the power generated by the thermal plants or the nuclear plants or hydro plants are directly connected to the high voltage levels, that is the power transmission level. But these distributed resources are not directly connected to the power transmission system. It is connected to the distribution level or the low voltage levels. There are some organizations which are working on this concept, are like International Council on Large Electric Systems and International Conference and Exhibition on Electric Distribution. So there are some attributes of distributed generation. Okay, it is not a centrally planned by the power utility. It is smaller than 50 megawatts. Actually, distributed generation or the resources have a capacity for generation is up to 10 megawatts. Okay, and the DR are connected up to 220 volts or 415 volts up to the 135 kVs. Okay, then what is the need to connect our distributed energy resources with the main grid? So first of all, depletion of fossil fuels. Already we discussed that the oils or the fossil fuels like coals have some limited years remain. So this is one most important point which is considered. For the reduction of pollution and the global warming, cogeneration scope is there for efficiency to increase the efficiency and to reduce the thermal pollution. Then if we connect the our loads, or if we connect our distributed generation with the loads at a local level, then the transmission and distribution losses get reduced, and the standalone system improves the reliability and power quality issues. Okay, there is one another point that I have not discussed here, but that point is that we know that there are some remote areas, okay, where the electricity is not reached yet. Okay, at that places also we can use the distributed energy resources or the microgrid concept. Then if we are using any technology, then there are some problems with that technology also. Like if we are using the power electronic devices to control our power system parameters, then there are some power quality issues also arise due to that power electronic devices. Like that way, there are some issues with DG integration also. Okay, so according to IEEE 1547 have set some standards for the interconnection. Here we discussed why we are integrating our distributed energy resources with a grid. Here IEEE 1547 have said some standards for interconnection of DERs with the main grid. We can't connect our DER or the any distributed resource with the grid without studying any kind of standards. Okay, so inverter can regulate output voltage of a DG. Okay, here the inverter is the heart of the power of the microgrid. Okay, how? Because the whatever output we are getting from renewables, that output we are converting into our required kind of the supply. Okay, that is, if we are getting the DC output from the solar panels, we need our AC for our loads, then we are converting that DC into AC. So here we are calling inverter as a heart of our microgrid, okay, or a heart of our distributed generation. Then changing inverter impedance can change voltage fluctuations. Okay, there is a one important point is that there are no any kind of rotating part in a microgrid. Okay, if we are considering the centralized system, like we are generating the electricity by using the synchronous generator, then there is a rotor is a rotating. Okay, there is a one part that is a rotating. Hence, there is a presence of inertia. Okay, yes, there is a presence of inertia. But in a case of a microgrid, there is a no any part is rotating, or there is a no any kind of mass. That's why there is a low inertia in a microgrid. Okay, so there is always changes in a voltage and the frequency as the load changes or any kind of disturbances occurring in a microgrid. Then there is a change in voltage and frequency values. Okay, so we can change the inverter impedance so that voltage fluctuations we can reduce. Okay, so let's discuss some about concepts like as we are using the distributed energy resources, our passive network is getting converted into active network. Also, if we I think in a power system we studies that our power network or a power system is a vertical, but as in renewable energy resources are getting in a power system, then our system is becoming horizontal. Then now, what is a microgrid? According to IEEE 1547, the microgrid is nothing but it is a combination of micro sources, okay, that is DERs, okay. It is a combination of micro sources, network and loads which may be standalone, or may be interconnected with the main grid. Okay, when remote areas are there, it means where the electricity is not reached yet, there we can use microgrid as a standalone. Or if we have surplus energy generated, then we can share our surplus energy with the main grid. Okay, it means it can be connected with a utility electric distribution network. Okay, if there is any kind of fault, if our microgrid is connected with the main grid, and if there is any kind of fault or any kind of disturbance, then we can disconnect our microgrid from a main grid, that is called as an islanded microgrid. Okay, so microgrid is generally proposed in a wake of the July 2012 India's blackout. Okay, that was the warning for full world. That was the most large blackout in India. Small microgrids can cover the distance about 30 to 50 kilometers of radius. The small power generations or the capacity of power generation of small micro sources, it can be 5 to 10 megawatts to serve the microgrid. Okay, the power is generated locally, so there is no any kind of dependencies on the long transmission lines. Here we can see the microgrid. In yellow color, I have shown the solar, wind, and some kind of loads are connected. And in a green color, we can see that there are some issues related with the microgrid. Those issues are like stability, power sharing issues, power quality issues, and protection issues. Okay, so here we will discuss the issues related to stability and power sharing. We will not going to discuss about the protection and power quality issues. So already we all know that what is the stability. Maybe last year students have studied what is a stability. So stability is nothing but it is the ability of electrical power system for a given initial operating condition to remain or to regain a state of operating equilibrium after being subjected to any kind of disturbance. If the any kind of disturbance or any kind of fault occurs in a system or power system, then the power system regains its initial operating conditions. That is called as the stability of a power system. Okay, so there are some types of stabilities like steady state stability, transient stability, and dynamic stability. Okay, so steady state stability, it means the disturbances occurring in a system are small. Okay, there is a small disturbances occurring in a system. Okay, or that disturbances can be normal load changes, or there it can be action of voltage regulator. Okay, and then transient stability, it means if there are sudden any kind of fault occurs in a system, then that is called as a, or after that fault the system regains its initial condition, that is called as the transient stability. And in a dynamic stability, those disturbances remain in a system for 30 to 40 seconds. Okay, so this is a very short introduction of the stability. I have not that much of time to discuss everything about the stability. Uh, the introduction of my topic, already we discussed the microgrid, something about the stability, and now here there is a load. Okay, so we already know the what is a load, or what is the electrical load. Okay, so there are two, we discuss the load in a different manners. Okay, so static load and dynamic load. In a static load, resistive kind of resistive load, or the RL type of load, or the constant power type of load comes under the static load. And dynamic load, in a dynamic load, most favorite load is the induction motor. Okay, most favorite load is the induction motor. So we are going to discuss the this system. This is a this system is, there is a one author, that is a Green sir. He have studied on this system. Okay, there are number of patents on that paper, and there are number of uh, number of times this paper is reviewed, it's studied. Okay, so this is system inverter 1, inverter 2, and inverter 3. This system is consist of 3 inverters or 3 sources. There is a network and there is a load. Okay, there are 3 inverters. One of these 3 inverter is acting as a master, and other 2 inverters are acting as a slaves. It means that the frequency generated by the inverter 1 is given as a reference frequency for inverter 2 and inverter 3. Okay, see here, omega 1 is given as a reference for the inverter 2 and inverter 3. Okay, so this is a microgrid system. Okay, these are 3 loads: inverter 1, inverter 2, inverter 3. The network which is connecting the inverters and the loads. Okay, and this total combination is called as the microgrid. This total combination is called as the microgrid. So I have first modeled that microgrid, mathematically modeled that microgrid, then converted, linearized that model, and this is the state space, state matrix. So static load model, this is the some mathematical equations of load model. Okay, dynamic load, that is induction motor. We already know that there is a stator and rotor. Okay, some of these equations of stator and rotor voltage equations of the induction motor, and the flux linkages are given in this slide. Okay, so let's discuss about the effect of loads or load changes. These are the parameters given for this system. For this system, these parameters are defined for this system. Okay, frequency, then filter parameters, and the all these connect all these, or the line inductance, line current, then all these parameters are, or the bus voltages are given in these slides. Okay. So how can we find out the initial conditions? There are some methods to find out the or calculate the initial conditions. One of them are time domain simulation. We can have a time domain simulation and can find out the initial conditions. Then power flow, then we can use the state equations, we can solve the state equations, and we can get the initial conditions for the system. These are the some results or the active power at inverter for three inverters. Okay, load current is given here. There is nothing to discuss about this. If we are switching the load, then how the parameters are behaving, we can observe here. See here. Here we are changing the load. We can see the how the parameter is not stabilizing earlier. There is it is taking some time to stabilize. Okay, effect of different types of loads. So we are considering here aerial type of load and the dynamic load, that is the induction motor. This is the test. This model is taken from the test bench. Okay, SIGRE, test bench SIGRE. Okay, here this is a microgrid. Here we can see that this is a grid. This is the main grid, and this is our microgrid. Okay, this is the one. There is a one switch. Already I have discussed that when there is any kind of disturbance or a fault, then this microgrid is disconnected from the main grid, and this microgrid is called as an islanded microgrid. Okay, so this study is based on the islanded microgrid. We already know that when microgrid will be connected to grid, main grid, then there is some kind of inertia present in a grid. But when microgrid is islanded, then inertia is very low. That's why the changes in a load always affect on the microgrid dynamics. So this is the eigenvalue analysis. Okay, when we are using the IL type of load, then here we can see the how eigenvalues are presented here. But when we are using the dynamic load, then the system is going towards the instability. So there is a reactive power at a source due to the 1% increase in RL type of load. We can see here there is not much kind of any change, or there is not much any effect on the system. But if we are changing the load by dynamic load by 1%, then how the reactive power is behaving here. So the increase in a load in case of RL type of load, there is not that much effect on the microgrid. But if we are using the dynamic load and there is a change in dynamic load, there is a drastic effect on the microgrid dynamics. So for comparative analysis, again we are using the induction motor. Here we can see the eigenvalues with a RL type of load, and when we are using the induction motor, large number of eigenvalues are taking part in a dynamics. This is the difference between RL type of load and the compared to the resistive load or the static kind of the loads, the eigenvalues are shifting towards the instability in case of the induction motor. We observe that when I'm increasing the resistive load, then there is not that much amount of effect on the microgrid dynamics. But if I'm increasing the dynamic load or induction motor load, then there is some kind of effect on the So this analysis has revealed that at the kind of selection of or the selection of only simple static load model cannot be satisfying in an advanced analysis aiming to provide an accurate view on the microgrid. It means that the load model's parameters are more effective on the islanded microgrids. If we are planning any kind of microgrid, then we have to study which kind of loads we are going to use, and if we are using that kind of loads, how that loads are affecting on the stability, and what are the solutions for that kind of situation. So the load models parameters are more effective on the islanded microgrid stability. Hence, we should accurately model and value the loads when the planning and operating the microgrid with a certain type of the consumers. Here, effect of change in a rating of a load on a microgrid dynamics. If we are changing the ratings of the load, then how it affects. Okay, this model is designed in a PSAT. Okay, so for normal ratings of induction motor, we can see here the eigenvalues with a normal ratings of induction motor, and if we are increasing the ratings by 5%, then here some of the eigenvalues are shifting towards the instability. So this was all about the microgrid dynamics. I have shown very short work here because of the time constraints. These are some research gap and future scope. On this research gap and future scope, you can have some study. You can have some ideas for your BE projects, like effect of sources on microgrid dynamics. I have only used here REL type of load and the dynamic load, that is induction motor. You can use different kind of loads for analysis. Then virtual inertia effect on stability. Already I have discussed that the microgrid have a very low inertia. That's why there are some fluctuations in a voltage and the frequency. That's why we have to integrate some virtual inertia in a microgrid. You can also study on this topic. Then optimized value of group, optimized value of PI controller parameters. There is a one more topic is that network reconfiguration. Dulla sir is given one paper on a network reconfiguration of a microgrid. Okay, so you can study on this topic also. Effect of islanding detection techniques on a stability. Then effect of conventional protection system on a microgrid stability, because the conventional methods we are using in a grid that can't be used in a microgrid. Okay, then effect of load modeling on a microgrid stability. Then again, effect of double droop method on a stability analysis. We will discuss some of the part of double droop method. Then effect of modified droop on microgrid dynamics with a composite loads. Effect of modified droop on microdynamics with a network reconfiguration. Dynamics of a microgrid with electric vehicle charging and discharging. It is a need of this era that electric vehicle charging, we can have electric vehicle charging in a microgrid, because if we are charging the electric vehicles in a grids, then there are some of the issues related to that. That's why we can have a microgrid for electric vehicle charging. And sometimes electric vehicles can act as a source. Okay, double derivative droop control for power sharing. Okay, so droop, we know that droop is the concept which is related to active power sharing and the reactive power sharing. Okay, that is a concept related to how much active power we want to share and how much reactive power we want to share. That is the concept of a droop. Okay, so double derivative droop technique is nothing but how the rate of change of quantity is changing itself. Okay, So there are some mathematical equations here. Okay, this is the totally related with the Drup concept. We can have a double derivative of the Drup here, power active power here. Okay, how it affects, we can see here. Active power at inverter 1 with the load changes. Okay, when I am using the conventional Drup, here we can see if I'm changing the load, then here there are some of the oscillations present here. Also we can observe here here in this graph, and see here when I am using the double derivative Drup technique, then the oscillations are totally reduced, because by using the conventional Drup technique, our system is not able to change to share the active power at the instant. At an inverter 2 with the load changes, here we can see there are large number of oscillations present in a system, but if we are using the double derivative Drup technique, the oscillations are totally reduced. Okay, so if we are using connecting our electric vehicles to microgrid, then there are some of the issues related with microgrid, like fault nearer to bus to which the EVs are connected. A total harmonic distortion is more. There are large number of voltage deviations. Okay, the grid voltage will not be significantly affected by connection of grid to vehicle and vehicle to grid operation of the electric vehicle. Here, the voltage can be controlled effectively by voltage controller of the converter. There is another concept of the, I have not discussed all the parts of the microgrid. I have just given some of the points of my work. Okay, so the voltage is controlled by using the voltage controller of the converter. It can be also that when EV is connected to voltage vehicle to grid mode, the reactive power flow into the grid will reduce to limit the voltage surge. Okay, the batteries of these plug-in hybrid electric vehicles are to be charged at a home from standard outlet. Okay, here there is another scope for work is that when we are charging electric vehicles, okay, if number of electric vehicles are connected to grid, then there is an impact on a microgrid which causes power losses and voltage deviations. So we should have a smart microgrid that we can decide at which time which vehicle can be interconnected with the microgrid for a charging purpose. Okay, these are some references. IEEE standard specifications of a microgrid controllers. These are some references I have used to discuss this topic with you people. Okay, thank you. Is there any question? Is there any question?
Is anybody having some questions? You can ask to ma'am. You can send your message in the chat box, so then I'll read it out.
Hello, Dhanashree.
Yes, ma'am.
I think there are no questions from the participants.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Very nice to see you after so many years with us.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm also very happy with you all peoples. I am sharing my mail ID here. So if
Yes.
anyone have any question, then you can contact me.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.